They're here and they're perfect.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias, and with me, as always, is my producer, Steve Granado. Steve, what's going on?
Dubs, Stace. Dubs. That's what's going on. Thanks so much for clicking on the show here today. We got a full episode for you guys. We have to ponder the question, Aaron Judge, what if? That's coming up later on in the show. Of course, it's Minors Monday. We had a massive week, some great pitching performances, some great offensive performances, an update on Jared Serna, and a whole bunch of stuff that's coming up later. Stacey, Yankees sweep Houston. Say it again. Yankees sweep Houston. Is this the best thing since the Blue Jays series?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and it's a long time since that Blue Jays series. What was that, the middle of May?
May.
Yeah. It feels like forever. Actually, the Dodgers series was okay.
With a tinge.
Yeah, because 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers were really good, but then the injury to Judge became worse a couple days later. Yeah, but yeah, I would say since the Toronto series.
To do it in Houston, no less, in which the Astros are also in the midst of a race. They are begging and pleading to get into that wild card spot, begging and pleading to catch the Mariners right now. I mean, that makes it so sweet for the Yankees. And to do it in the way they did it, to do it with the guys who did it, who let's be frank, lit up Verlander.
Mm-hmm.
And, fought on Saturday and late game comeback on Sunday. You can't ask for anything else out of this series. You win all 3 in Houston, and to do it the way you did it, I mean, that's just chef's kiss.
Yeah. Because coming out of Detroit and heading into Houston, you made fun of me for making a Stace face when I mentioned that they were playing Houston next, but I was terrified because Yankee fans have PTSD, okay, when it comes to the Yankees playing in Houston, because we've had so many heartbreaking moments in that stadium, and even during the regular season, it's just hard for us to watch these games. So for the Yankees to do what they did with the kids, and with no one expecting them to do anything, sweeping that team the way that they did, like you said, Verlander on Friday and even Sunday night's game, the comeback, and just winning in convincing fashion. I wish I had bet money on this.
Yeah, seriously. Let's go through it, Stace. That Sunday game, 6-1 final. Didn't look like it was going to be that. I mean, we got to give it up to Michael King right now.
Yes.
5 innings, 1 run, 5 hits, didn't walk anybody, 4 strikeouts, super efficient this time around. He had been a little less, hadn't been really efficient his first couple of starts since switching from the pen, but to throw under 70 pitches in 5 innings, that's great. That's what you want. Remember, he had been working really deep in counts, but for him to get through 5 like that, awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Especially against that team, because we saw how they were doing against Severino on Saturday. We'll get into that in a second, but they were just constantly hitting the ball off him, and he just could not finish those guys off. So to see King do what he did on Sunday was absolutely amazing, especially with the way the game started. Houston scores in the first, but he settled down after that and looked great.
Absolutely. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love seeing Austin Wells throwing somebody out as well, especially considering, we've detailed out on Minors Mondays. We've detailed out on just the show in general about the concerns with him behind the plate. So that's really encouraging to see him do something like that. And just the offense coming around late, Stacey. We talked about it. Oswaldo with a single, DJ the RBI double, and then Jasson Dominguez. I mean, we're going to talk about later against Verlander, but his second bomb of the weekend, speechless.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. He's just he just runs around the bases. He doesn't really do anything. He's unassuming, and he's not not that I would mind. I would love if he was hot dogging around the bases, because it's exciting as a 20-year-old to be doing this, just waltzing into a Yankee uniform and having 2 home runs in his first 3 games. Hello again in Houston. Just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that's what a weekend for him to start. I mean, the energy level completely different from this team right now. Look, it's probably all for naught. You'd pretty much have to win out at this point.
Yeah.
to have a fighting chance here. But yeah, it's just, again, speechless. It's just so great to see. And then them just popping off in the ninth.
Yeah.
Gleyber going deep, and then Austin Wells, the RBI knock. Peraza, good to see him driving in some runs this weekend. And Clay Holmes, man, he's kind of turned a corner here over the weekend too.
Yeah, I joked on Twitter, and I didn't mean to be so mean, but I said, "Is this lead big enough?" And the inning ended in like 2 seconds because he got 2 ground outs and a line out, and it felt good. You know, they were playing on ESPN. They've been terrible on ESPN. They've been terrible finishing out series. They haven't swept anyone in so long that it felt like they were never going to do it again. And it was just amazing, really.
Yeah. They're playing their best baseball since May.
Yeah. And you were saying the energy has shifted. And it's true, because anytime one of the kids does something, the dugout goes absolutely nuts. And it's so much fun to see those guys get so excited to watch these kids. And you can tell that things are changing in the clubhouse.
You know what's different? They're smiling.
Yeah.
They haven't done that in a while. Like, let's be real here. It's been a pretty down summer.
Yeah.
That clock, or the calendar flipped, and now here we are. And it feels like a different team, which is great, because remember, we talked about this. This is potentially 2024 here too that we're talking about. Saturday, Sevy, kind of a bit of a dud again. 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned. Did walk a batter and strike out 3. Obviously not his best stuff, but to see Johnny Brito come in that spot and settle that game down in a massive way, 3 2/3 of shutout ball with just 2 hits. The Johnny Brito line, here it is again. Every day, every time Johnny Brito takes the mound, that line is back. The unassuming 3 2/3, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, strikeout. That's just Johnny Brito at his best.
Yeah, yeah. As I said earlier with Severino, he just threw too many pitches. I mean, I think he threw 70 pitches in 2 innings. It was just, and what was happening was he was giving up, or he was having at bats where he'd throw like 12, 13 pitches, and it would end up in a single or a walk. You couldn't finish guys. And it was a lumbering kind of start for him. But for the team to come back and win that game too was pretty amazing. And to keep that lead too, because they had to keep that lead for a few innings.
Yeah, Judge with the second homer of the weekend at that point. Again, I mentioned Oswald Peraza picking up an RBI in a couple of games here this weekend. Oswaldo Cabrera, I just love seeing those 2 names in the majors together. A. B, seeing them driving runs together. Everson Pereira drives in the game winner in that one late in the contest. So it's really encouraging. It's really, really encouraging. Again, we talked about Everson Pereira last week, about how it's been great to see him come up in moments and come through in moments. So that's really great. He did it again on Saturday in that 5-4 win. And then the Friday winner, I mean, it all started with that Jasson Dominguez homer. Like that off of Justin Verlander. I mean, like that's dreams. That's dreams for not for just Jasson Dominguez and the Dominguez family, but every Yankee fan in the world right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, first of all, DJ homering on the second pitch of the game was pretty cool, but then it was Cone on the broadcast. He's like, "Oh, DJ's hit to that part of to the stadium, another time," and he was referencing the home run that he hit right before Chapman walked off and gave up the walk off to Altuve in 2019 again, which is why Yankee fans don't like watching games in Houston, because too many things remind them of bad series that happened there. So DJ starting off with a home run was cool. And I was like, all right, they got their 1 run off Verlander. That's what my thought was. And Stanton gets on base. Dominguez comes up. I'm like, all right, cool. The kid's up against Verlander. Let's see what happens. Are you kidding me? First swing?
Whack.
Second pitch, first swing?
Whacked it too.
Awesome. I was like, I've seen this before. I was watching the game live when Austin, what's his name? Tyler Austin and Aaron Judge went back-to-back for their first home runs in the majors in 2016, a similar season to 2023. And I thought to myself, that's a good first omen.
Yeah, no kidding. To see that, that's great. DJ goes deep, Stanton goes deep, Judge goes deep. Carlos Rodon, not the greatest line in the world, but you'll take it. 5 innings of 2 earned, only 3 hits, a walk, and 4 Ks. And then again, Randy Vasquez coming out of the pen and doing a nice job there. 2 shutout innings with a pair of strikeouts. So again, this series went about as good as humanly possible, right? Like the only real bad mark here was Sevy's line,
pretty much.
Which by comparison to his other lines this season isn't even that bad.
Right.
Like he's had some really, really bad lines this year. So to go 4-4, like, I mean, like, look, it's not good. Don't get me wrong here. And the way he is building, you're hoping that he would continue. But at least it didn't completely fall apart, which it has on many occasions this week, or this season, I should say. So, I mean, no notes, no notes here, guys. I got to imagine this feels sweet, something sweet in a bitter year. Like, just, you mentioned Stace playing the spoiler, and it's rotten.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
The Rodon thing, similar to Sevy, couldn't really finish guys off at first, so that drove his pitch count up, which was, again, why King's performance is so amazing, because Sevy and Rodon were having trouble against that lineup.
Yeah.
And King, after that first inning, pretty much shut them down. It was awesome.
Let us know how you're feeling about this weekend down in the comment section down below here on YouTube. You can leave your questions for Fan Mail Friday. Reply to that pinned comment as well. And, of course, subtexters were sending Giddy's texts all weekend to us. So make sure you can join subtexters, a 14-day free trial. You can have one-on-one conversations with Stacey and myself. And, of course, you get a bunch of other information there in the episode description. Has everything you need to know. All right, we're going to step aside real quick. When we come back, big week in the minors system. Some really big-time performances. We got to talk about it. Guys, you don't have to choose between better hair growth and your health. I know your hair is super important. Trust me, I take care of mine. I like getting a good haircut. I like putting good stuff in my hair. Trust me. If you're having issues and you're looking for answers, Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve your hair growth, visible thickness, and visible scalp coverage. Take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. Because for a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com/men and enter the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Guys, take care of your hair. It's important. Find out why over 4,000 healthcare professionals recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. That's at Nutrafol.com/men, spelled Nutrafol.com/men. That's promo code LOCKEDONMLB. One more time, Nutrafol.com/men, promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Back now on Locked On Yankees. Hey, to the everydayers out there, make sure to stick around for tomorrow's show, because I have to catch up in the bowl prediction standings pretty badly. So might be making a pretty crazy wager. I think I might be going all in on tomorrow's bowl predictions. Stay tuned. Hit subscribe. That's for the Tigers series starting on tomorrow. So make sure to check that out tomorrow. So hit subscribe. All right, it's Minors Monday, and guys, we've said it a couple of times. We're kind of running low on Minors games here. Just to keep everybody up to speed, this coming week is the final week for the Tampa Tarpons. There's 2 weeks left for the Hudson Valley Renegades. For Tampa and Hudson Valley. There's 2 weeks left for Somerset, and there's 3 weeks left for Scranton Wilkes-Barre. So we are running dry. We will be, of course, covering Somerset's postseason run. Hopefully a postseason run for the Rail Riders. They're 2.5 back, entering play on Sunday. So some tight races still going on. We're keeping an eye on it for you, and we're keeping an eye on the prospects like we always do. It's time to ask, how's that first rounder going? How's that working out? George Lombard Jr., #6 prospect in the system, is now with the Tampa Tarpons and just had his biggest day. Sunday, 4-hit ball game, went 4 for 5 with a double, drove in 3. It was his second multi-hit game in 8 games played. That's across 2 levels. He started in the Complex League and then now has been with Tampa. He was called up about a week ago on August 27th, called up from the Complex League to the Tampa Tarpons. And here's his numbers here to begin the season at Tampa with him. 10 for his first 25. That's 8 games. 10 walks. 10 walks in his first 8 games. A .571 on base percentage for George Lombard Jr. He's been batting first and second, kind of splitting time rather evenly there in his first couple of games. He's been playing short, and it's really good to see instant success, especially for a high school kid. We know that, there was a lot of hype around this kid, very athletic, very quick, good hands, all that kind of stuff, all the goodness for a first rounder. And, early returns are pretty darn good. It kind of took a while to get him that start. but it's been very encouraging to see some of those numbers here in the early going. So he has 1 week left. We'll see if he gets a call to Hudson Valley. I don't know if that's going to happen. You kind of take it easier on these young kids, especially high school kids, played a full high school season, that kind of thing. So we'll see where he ultimately lands. If he does get a call to Hudson Valley, we will see, because that would only be for 1 week at that point. Since Tampa's almost done, Stace, this might be my favorite story of the year. And that's saying a lot. We're in August. Unranked. Here he is. Here's my unranked pick of the week. Sean Herman. Who? Haven't said Sean Herman all year. First time. It's September. I said it's August. September. We're saying Sean Herman.
I was going to correct you, but I figured you figured that out.
I figured it out. Right-handed pitcher out of Durant High School in Florida. He was a 14th rounder back in 2021. Who's Sean Herman, Steve? How about this on Saturday for the Tampa Tarpons against St. Lucie? 8 shutout innings. 5 hits, no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts, 71 pitches. 8 shutout innings on 71 pitches. I'm going to say that again. 8 shutout innings on 71 pitches. I had a triple take on that to make sure I was reading it right. Longest outing of his career. This ball game took 2 hours and 7 minutes, and it lasted 10 innings. Thanks to, let me say it again, 8 shutout innings on 71 pitches. Ridiculous. Sean Herman, unranked right-hander, longest outing of his career. What a performance. He got called up for like a split second in early August, had like a spot start in Hudson Valley, went back down. So for him to have a moment like this, he's pitched fairly well. Recently, since the start of August, he pitched really well in that one start in Hudson Valley. So it's really nice to see. I love my unranked guys. 8 innings, 71 pitches.
I'm pretty sure Severino had 71 pitches in 2 innings on Saturday. He would have killed for 71 pitches in 8 innings.
No kidding. Ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, here's your weekly Somerset update. This is man, if we had a show on Sunday, we just do Somerset Sundays.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially what we're at this point. Every week we're talking about Somerset. They had an 8-game winning streak, by the way. They just won 8 in a row, super casually. Already in the playoffs, so it doesn't even matter. They don't have to win like this, but they are. That tied a AA franchise record for Somerset. Entering play on Sunday. Full disclosure, we're recording this before games play on Sunday and before the Sunday Yankees game. They'd won 16 of 20. Somerset is red, scorching hot, looking for back-to-back Eastern League titles. They are close to the playoffs, and I mean, they might be the favorite at this point. Wanted to get you a check-in on the number 1 prospect now, Spencer Jones. He's been a little slow to start, got called up to Somerset recently. He hit his first AA home run on Wednesday in a grand slam, so very nice to see that. We've been talking a lot about Ben Rice lately. He had another 2 home run game on that same Wednesday day. It was a massive day for the Patriots. That was his second 2 home run game of the season. He's been a little cold here to start in September, but I wanted to say this, Stacey, because you don't get to say this very often. This is how hot Ben Rice has been since being called up to AA. His batting average is down to 321. Don't get to say that. Still, again, this is without Sunday, so if you click, you're not going to find the exact same numbers. But entering Sunday, slugging .660 on the season with Somerset in 38 games. Look, 38 games ain't a full season, but 38 games ain't 5.
Right.
So pretty impressive. Ben Rice has been killer. And look, I couldn't say Drew Thorpe this year or this week. Here, I'll say it now. Drew Thorpe. There you go. That's your Drew Thorpe update. Of course, he did something ridiculous. It was like 5 1/3 with 9 strikeouts, something stupid like that. He's been ridiculous. He's like 4-0 to start. Matt Sauer, Stace. I don't think I've done Sauer this year.
I don't think so either.
I think I've been sour on Sauer. But Matt Sauer this week, great year, or great start, good year. Friday at Portland. 6 2/3, 3 hits, an earned run, and 11 strikeouts. Now you may be thinking, 11 strikeouts, maybe that's a career high. No, we just passed the 1-year anniversary of that. I don't know. I wasn't part of the show. I remember because I was with the Rail Riders at that time, and we were all talking about this game when it happened. August 25th, 2022, 17 17 strikeout game. Don't forget about that one against New Hampshire. We just passed the 1-year anniversary of again, 17 strikeout game for Matt Sauer against the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. So it's always nice to reminisce about an incredible night like that. I remember watching that. We had like the ticker going because we would do like in-game updates about what was going on. And I'm like, what's going on? What's going on against New Hampshire right now? Ridiculous. But yes, 11 strikeouts and 6 2/3 for the number 25 prospect. That ties his second career high, something he's done twice now. So pretty cool. And one more for you guys here. Another chock full week for Miners Monday. The number 20 prospect, Jared Serna, who we've dedicated an entire episode to before. This is before, again, Sunday's game. A 12-game hitting streak for Jared Serna, 16 for 51, batting .310 during the streak. Pair of triples, 5 doubles. And pretty cool to see this. Look, batting average doesn't tell you everything, but it is still fun to talk about. Since being called up to Hudson Valley on August 8th, he's batting .284 with the Renegades. With Tampa earlier this year, he was batting .283. So nice to see that. His slugging is definitely down almost 100 points, which is a little bit concerning. But again, it's his first call up. We've talked about Jared Serna on a few occasions, still super young, but it's his first call up to high A. So I imagine he'll probably start next season with Hudson Valley. Again, could see an in-season promotion. You never know. It did feel a little long to get him to high A this year. Remember, we thought that he should have been called up a lot earlier, but he finally did get the call up. And since then, for the last month, good check-in, the slugging down, but the average is still there. The hits are there. Again, 12-game hitting streak. What else do you want? He's been batting in the second and third spots, which is also pretty impressive. First time at high A, jumping up to a new level to be batting second and third right off the bat. Is really impressive. So still good to see, still good numbers from Jared Serna. Again, I imagine he'll start with the Renegades next year. But man, another banner week, Stace. We didn't even talk about the Rail Riders. We didn't even talk about a lot of guys. Again, Drew Thorpe, 5 1/3 or whatever it was, 9 strikeouts. You'll figure it out. If it's a day that ends in Y, Drew Thorpe struck out at least 8. That's it for this Miners Monday. We're going to step aside one more time. We come back. Aaron Judge, what if?
The MLB playoffs are around the corner, which means the clock is ticking on your chance to win 100 times your cash on daily fantasy baseball. Baseball has never been more exciting than it is now with studs like Acuna, Betts, and Ohtani. Pick more or less on stats for these stars like home runs, hits, strikeouts, and more for up to 100 times a payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right and you could win big. As I say every time, I'm StaceFace826 on Sleeper, so you can connect with me there, and a couple of you have. Just because your fantasy baseball team isn't going anywhere doesn't mean you have to miss out on winning this season. Use promo code LOCKEDON, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply, and you can see Sleeper's terms of use for details.
Back here on Locked On Yankees, Stacy, Aaron Judge just keeps on homering. What else is new? Again, we're recording before this part, the game on Sunday. So who knows if he hits like 12 home runs on Sunday night. But currently 31 homers, 4th in the American League, Stacy. 250 career bombs in 810 games. That's the fastest in Major League Baseball history to get to 250 homers. Ridiculous. Now, Stace, if you're like an online person, I think you're online. Are you on the internet? Have you checked it out these days?
Yes.
Okay, cool. They put up a graphic on all the MLB socials, and they showed like the fastest to 250 homers. And this list was kind of interesting to me. So Judge 810. Right, to get to 250 bombs. Ryan Howard, 855. Ralph Kiner, 871. Harmon Killebrew, 905. And then Albert took 933. So out of curiosity's sake, I was like that I don't know. When I saw that, I wasn't like, wow, Ryan Howard? Like that was the I wasn't thinking that, you know. There was a couple of names there where I was like, what, really? I don't know how you felt about that, but
I wasn't that surprised by some of the names, but I was actually surprised it took Pujols. I mean, not that 933 is a lot of games to hit 250, but it felt it's so much longer than 810. 810 is insane when you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's almost a full extra season.
Mm-hmm.
So I was curious, where do these guys end up career homer wise? which two of them really struck me. Actually, you know what? Three of them really struck me. It wasn't Albert Pujols. I watch Albert Pujols a lot.
Yeah.
Ryan Howard finished his career with 382.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's a steep fall off. Ralph Kiner, worse, 369. Yeah. Now this one really threw me off, Stacey. I didn't realize that Harmon Killebrew hit 573 bombs. I didn't even realize that. That's insane.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Albert finished with 703. So, I mean, injuries for Ryan Howard.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't know much about the career of Ralph Kiner. I don't know how familiar you are with his career.
Not really. No. I'm more familiar with former Yankees than I am with former Mets. No offense.
Sure. I mean, that's understandable.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I couldn't believe that, again, because I knew Ryan Howard, he was big, but I wasn't like old enough yet. I was still like early teens when Ryan Howard was really popping off, and as a West Coast,
he was really popping off.
Yeah.
I remember it well.
Yeah, I mean, as an American League West baseball fan, I wasn't exactly paying attention to the NL Central when I'm 13. So I think that stands to reason. But of course, I obviously knew Ryan Howard, and obviously knew he actually ended up being an Angel, weirdly enough, for like 10 seconds. But yeah, no, to finish at 382. The pace he's on, Stacey, is incredible. And when bringing it back to Judge, it's almost identical to last season when you consider everything. If he had 696 plate appearances like he did last year, and we're just going off of homers per plate appearances, Judge would have hit 61 at this pace. Isn't that amazing? It's just I know that stings to hear, but at the same time, think about how freaking consistent that is. That's amazing to do that for 2 years.
He's really incredible, and I feel like people still aren't giving him enough credit for what he's done. And it is annoying to realize that he could have done this like 2 months ago if he wasn't injured.
Yeah, it's wild for him to be fourth in the AL and to be just like thinking him being over 30 bombs.
Yeah.
Like when you consider he misses 2 months, I would have been like, oh, this is like a 22 to 25 homer season then.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how humans play.
Right. I mean, look at Stanton.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I mean,
he's only at 22. I think he's only at 22.
Only.
I know.
Yeah. There's a lot to unpack there. That's off-season stuff. But let us know how you're feeling about Judge and in the what if. The what if factor is so massive for 2023. We want to hear about it in the comment section down below. Don't forget, coming up on tomorrow's show, I got to win these bold predictions, man. I'm really falling behind. So make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss me making a fool of myself like I normally do every new start of a series. And that's going to do it for today's Locked On Yankees. I'm Steve Granado.
And I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. We'll see you tomorrow.